we just saw, Red 5 developed its unique way of recruiting prospective employees. But how else can you attract great people? Well, let's turn to this week's board of directors to ask them. Lisa Orrell is the author of Millennials Incorporated, the big business of recruiting, managing, and retaining North America's new generation of young professionals. Riva Lasansky is the CEO of SMB Connects, which provides information and support to small and mid-sized businesses. And Nick Marsh joins us again. He's the managing partner of Growth Point Capital Partners, an investment group focused on revolutionary consumer brands in their early stages. Thanks for joining us again.
It's great to be here.
And Lisa, so nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here.
We were just talking here on the set how we have all put out job listings and have been very disappointed with the resume flow that we've gotten in the past. So this is not something that's just specific to an industry where there are more jobs than there are people. This happens to everyone. So what can you do to get good resumes?
Well, there's a number of things you can do, and with all the speaking and consulting that I've been doing with businesses of all shapes and sizes over the past couple months, let me tell you that this is not a company size issue. I've been working with companies with big name brands all the way down to smaller companies like our friends at Red 5 that don't have a lot of brand recognition that are suffering from the same type of thing. Aside from doing big campaigns like what Red 5 was able to do, where a lot of small businesses may not be able to afford to do that, there are a lot of creative things that people can do. I suggest to companies, if you've got 85% of recent college grads are on Facebook, you need to get your company a presence on Facebook or MySpace, or be very creative about how you can get onto YouTube, because those are very effective ways to go after especially the young college grads that are coming in, as well as your younger Gen Xers are all online and taking advantage of those places. There's been some companies that have done phenomenal things to get a presence on MySpace.
You know what's kind of neat about that too is you're not only branding yourself to get employees, but you're branding yourself to get customers as well. Let me turn to these guys here on this set. So Riva, you've hired people before. What ideas do you have to get good resume flow?
Well, one of the things that I think is always best is turn to your existing employees. I mean, when you go out there in the world, like you just said, you get stuff that's so incomplete, incorrect, just they don't read it, they miss the point. But if you turn to your existing employees, particularly if you're looking for young people, and say, do you know anybody? Do you have a friend? And you can incentivize your employees. If you hire somebody and it works for at least 3 months, give them $100 or $200, the existing employees. So they're going to recommend smart, good people, and they're already going to fit into your corporate culture.
Right, and people have these email lists. They send it to their friends, and friends send it to their friends.
Right, it's viral, and it's cheap.
If it goes on something, on MySpace or Facebook particularly. Do you have any ideas, stuff that you've done?
I think you should call the Red 5 guys and have them come in, because that's the craziest idea I've ever heard.
It was brilliant, right?
That was genius. I mean, I'm certainly not going to come up with anything that good.
It was so good, but they are venture-backed and they had $50,000 to spend.
But a more pedestrian idea is always be recruiting. Trade shows, panels, seminars with speakers where you can go and you can kind of hear people and have a chance to meet someone not in a recruiting environment is actually a great way to recruit.
I think also, Lisa, some people don't take the time to recruit, or as much time as they should. So they'll put an ad up on Monster.com, for instance, or on Craigslist and think, I'm just going to get great people. And that's probably not a true statement.
Well, it's really tough, especially like Red 5 had mentioned, as they got lost in the shuffle, right? So if you're not a big brand that people know, you are potentially going to get lost in the shuffle. So you have to, on a shoestring budget, learn how to shuffle and make a lot of noise. The one other really great tip that has been working for companies I've been working with that's very inexpensive to do is when you do go to the traditional career fairs, whether it's for seasoned executives or whether it's for college recruitment, go ahead and put your information, all that collateral material, as PDFs on flash drives. And the beauty of that also is you can put on 30 to 45-second video clips about what it's like to work at your company, talk about the city and state that you work in or that you exist in, to also help with people wanting to relocate their families or themselves to be with you.
That's a great idea to end on. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, JJ.